Another day, another video. Did you know Uganda is the biggest distributor of electricity in East Africa? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. But then again, who are the people behind this distribution? And do you know what they do? Also, what role can you play to take part? This right here is Powering Africa Conference and Youth Summit, a 4-day event, first of its kind, hosted by Electricity Regulatory Authority and other government agencies that distribute electricity in Uganda. The first 3 days involve dialogues, presentations, and debates from both international and local panelists about the growing energy sector in Africa. We had an interesting debate session, and let me know, which side are you on?
Do believe in it, but it can also be the absence of political will that shows you what you would otherwise have achieved. Am I right? Because I think from the hands I saw in the opposition, you might think that I am here to argue that political will always does good. Sometimes it does bad, sometimes it's absent. It doesn't make it any less relevant. So, African energy systems are based in African countries, and African countries have a certain DNA. They are weak, they are divided, they are unable to implement a common vision effectively. Oh dear. So anyway, when we talk about strategic security, strategic energy security.
Energy that is consumable, that is usable at every homestead. Let's talk about economic realities. Technology creates the reality that forces political action. In Morocco, we have the world's largest solar project. The Nua solar complex, 580 megawatts, required 9 billion. Angelo talks about the lack of funding in Africa. Investment flowed in, and that project powers 1 million people, offset 773,000 tons of CO2 annually. Morocco's political commitment to 52% renewable energy by 2030 came after technology proved solar viable. Follows success. It does not create success. No wonder we recycle politicians every 5 years. It takes us a generation to get disruptors. And if you think I'm lying, ask yourself, when was the last time you had someone so involved in politics as Elon Musk? What does that tell you? Elon Musk is not an elected politician. Elon Musk is simply a guy who came from South Africa. I wonder which continent that is. Went to the US, used his brain, and developed the energy sector.
Thank you.
He did say that the Kenyans created those solar panels. They were imported from China. But the political environment, recognizing the energy poverty in Kenya, made it that the politicians appreciated it and created an enabling environment to say, do not be deceived. Innovation is good, but politics makes it possible to innovate. That's why the Manhattan Project will take place in the USA to harness the power of atomic energy. Thank you so much.
Innovation reaches where politics cannot. Across Africa, millions remain off-grid, not because politicians don't care, but because traditional infrastructure models have failed. Yes, you may say all you want about M-Kopa and the political environment being wonderful, but the truth is, over anything else, the government grids never existed in Kenya, even without political will.
We got to vote and we won. Definitely political will in Africa influences technology innovation. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Back to the sessions, we got to find out the rules about electricity business in Uganda and investment opportunities regarding sustainable energy in Uganda. Did you know that taxes have been reduced when it comes to that sector? Well, now you know.
Implement reforms and money will come to where reforms are. But you need to make sure that there is proper risk allocation. The professor talked about knowing our priorities. What do we need to develop power plants? Do we need to do the standard gauge rate? drives power consumption. So the issue with Chinese projects, there are actually two issues. One, you cannot separate the repayment from the performance of the asset. So you must make sure that the repayment of the debt is tagged on how the asset is performing. And you cannot separate operation and maintenance costs. Operation and maintenance of a power plant from its construction. You cannot have someone who just comes and says, I want to construct and hand over to you, and you pay me respectively X. Now there are two reasons why in Africa we have an FX challenge. One is the financial sector that we have in sub-Saharan Africa. If you want to do a project in Uganda, the total debt in Uganda was $700 million. And that was in 2007, at the heat of the financial crisis. Now, $700 million, when we tried to refinance Uganda in 2017, and we contacted commercial banks here, they told us the maximum they could raise was $250 million, and that was through syndication. So, the financial sectors are not, that is the main reason why we go and source financing from other countries, and that is also the reason why our tariff is pegged on the dollar. That if I got money from Germany or China or the US, 1 million, I have to pay back in dollars. They don't understand shillings. Secondly, the equipment that we use on the network, most of it is imported. It is not manufactured here. So when you go to ABB in Sweden to buy equipment, you buy it in dollars, even when your money is in shillings. So you have that FX exposure, which is kind of inevitable. So as ERA, I don't want to take so much time on this, is that we've not been sitting actually. We've been working with banks. We've contacted NSSF to see if we can get, we talked about local solutions to mitigate the FX exposure. We had to try a hedging product with ABSA to see, we've actually invited them to participate. For example, when we're doing the gate fee projects, can we do a refit in shillings? Will it, attract finance?
Let us give a thunderous applause to the 3 days we have been here, and even we have another day tomorrow. So we give a thunderous applause to ourselves.
After those insightful discussions, now the Youth Summit can officially begin.
Uganda's electricity generation matrix is dominated by renewables. We are looking at cost analysis. You get also the cost of implementing assets in different areas. So when you get all of them and you input them into the tool, in your mind you need to have a scenario. For this specific project, oh, by the way, I didn't mention, this is a project that was done by one of the GIS professionals in Uganda. She's part of the Energy Sector GIS working group. If you were around the past 3 days, you came to the booth and you interacted with us, she was around. So we looked at two scenarios, the low demand and the high demand. In the low demand, there was a scenario of extending Tier 3 to urban.
At the verge of the development of Africa, I would like to challenge each and every one of us. Before I make this presentation, I want to ask you, how have you utilized the potential that you have as an African young person to impact your environment, to impact your communities? I'm talking about sustainable community change that we need. We are looking at Light Ed Nigeria. People are turning the e-waste into energy. We are looking at Green the Lake Youth Climate, which is in Ghana. And we have also...
I am authentic, I am bold, I am ready to boss up, irrespective of my gender. Thank you so much.
We're seeing a lot of project development, so you can become a project developer. And you can also do research and consulting. E-mobility, engineer here is very happy with this slide. We saw a young man with electric bikes yesterday.
Say electricity, say energy, and the different sectors. We shall send out.
I don't wanna play. What I did, what you do it? See, you want to know what then? Me and my baby, we are cool. Do it together like a bring to the home, never fall. I don't want nobody, baby, other than you. You want to know what?
Alright, that's about it for this video. But what do you think can be done to improve the energy sector in Africa? And do you think you can attend the energy conference next year? Well, for now, I will network and enjoy, but I'll be sure to see you guys in my next video.